So here are 4 things that the middle class will sometimes get wrong about money and how you can avoid making the same mistake. But before jumping in, this video is brought to you by National University, and we'll talk more about them in a moment. Number 1, failing to teach financial literacy to the next generation. Even though money is something that we'll manage until the day we die, some young people enter adulthood without any real knowledge on how to handle their finances. And because of this, they often learn financial management through trial and error, and they risk making big mistakes like living well above their means, relying too much on credit, and not prioritizing saving. And this is why it is so important for parents to not only learn about money themselves, but to have open conversations with their kids, especially their older teens, before they leave high school. And these conversations don't have to be complicated, but they do need to be consistent. So start with the basics like budgeting and saving. For an example, if they receive an allowance, gift money, or have a part-time job, encourage them to save a portion of it. And I think it's natural to exclude kids from these discussions, but bringing them into it is a great way to show them how to balance priorities while sticking to a budget. Because when they understand concepts surrounding money early, this can help them have confidence when it comes to managing their own finances later on. And who knows, these conversations might spark a newfound interest in finance for you or an older teen, so much so that you might consider it as a potential career path. And that's why I'm excited to partner with National University to share how their Bachelor of Science in Financial Management program can turn that interest into a profession. This program helps students gain both practical and theoretical knowledge in areas like financial decision-making, wealth creation, and resource management. Whether the goal is to work in corporate finance, investment banking, or personal wealth management, this program equips students with the tools to succeed. National University is an accredited nonprofit institution offering flexible online degree programs, certifications, and professional development courses. Their unique structure allows students to complete courses one at a time, making it easier to focus and make steady progress without feeling overwhelmed. So if you're interested in a future in financial education, click the link in my description to explore scholarship opportunities that can help make this investment even more accessible. Another mistake that some people make is believing that a high income automatically means that they're doing good. It's easy to feel secure when you're earning more than most, but here's the truth. It's not always about how much you make, it's about how much you keep. Earning well over 6 figures can mean absolutely nothing when your expenses devour your entire paycheck. And if we're getting honest, high earners are sometimes more vulnerable to financial mismanagement because they can fall into this trap of thinking that their income will always cover everything. And unfortunately, it's this mindset that can sometimes lead to overspending and neglecting their savings despite having a larger paycheck than most. In addition, this can also set the stage for lifestyle creep, which is a common pitfall. So as their income increases, so do their expenses, which can include upgrading cars, moving to a bigger home, or dining out more often. And if any of this sounds familiar, you may feel justified because you're earning more. But if you're not careful, you could become financially stretched at a higher level. And some high earners also fall into this trap of thinking that they don't need a budget. But this is also dangerous because if you don't have any type of spending limits in place, it becomes so much easier to overspend and then wonder where your money went. So in the end, a high income is not a replacement for financial discipline, and financial stability isn't necessarily determined by how much you make, but rather how well you manage what you have. Another mistake is not understanding what it really means to live paycheck to paycheck. Some people will blame not having a savings account on the fact that they're living paycheck to paycheck. And for some people, that might be true. But that is not the case for everyone who makes this claim. The truth is, some people will use this excuse to justify why they don't have anything in saving. But in actuality, they can save, they just choose not to. Even though they are very quick to say that they are living paycheck to paycheck, if you were to go through their expenses and see where their money has gone over the past few months, it would tell a completely different story. Now, if all of your money goes to basics and needs and you have absolutely no wiggle room, that's something different. But if you're spending hundreds every single month on self-care, dining out, miscellaneous shopping, travel, and you're using cold hard cash, you're not living paycheck to paycheck. That's not the reason you can't save. The real reason is because you're prioritizing wants. And to be clear, no one is saying that you can't have fun and spend on things that bring enjoyment. So please don't twist my words. But what I am saying is that if you're serious about improving your finances and getting ahead, you're gonna have to get realistic about your spending habits and lifestyle. So take a look at your spending and start making some adjustments, keeping in mind that it doesn't have to be anything earth-shattering. Because if you're not saving anything, yet you're spending $500 a month on things that don't matter, one option is just to split it in half. So you can put $250 into savings and $250 toward wants. And finally, another mistake that some people make is normalizing high credit card debt. And I'm not talking about situations where you lost your job, you burnt through your savings, and now you're using a credit card to keep yourself afloat. What I'm talking about is using a credit card without a plan because you're trying to live a life that you can't afford. This year alone, I've seen countless videos of people proudly declaring that they're gonna shop, travel, and eat out and do whatever they want, even if it involves using a credit card and getting into debt, and they have zero regrets. And a lot of them will justify the behavior by saying, I deserve this. And to an extent, I agree, because yes, most people work hard and we do deserve to enjoy some of our money. But on the flip side, we also deserve to be financially stable, which is not going to happen when you're being financially irresponsible. And I've even seen some people justify high credit card debt by comparing it to an auto loan, saying that it's the same thing, which is not true. For anyone who doesn't know, a car loan is an installment loan, whereas credit cards are a type of revolving debt. And with that being said, credit scoring models rank them differently. And on top of that, car loans will typically have a much lower interest rate than credit cards, plus they have an end date. With a car loan, if you make your payment every month, you know that it will be paid off in 48 or 60 months depending on the term. But with a credit card, even if you make your minimum payments, the combination of high interest and ongoing spending can keep you in debt much longer. So no, car loans and credit cards are not the same type of debt, and it's so important not to be short-sighted. Credit card debt can haunt you for years, and pretending as if it doesn't matter could end up costing you much more in the long run.